You don't notice the moment it becomes permanent. The card slides out of your wallet the way a reflex does. Coffee before work, groceries on the way home, a late-night food delivery because the day was long and you deserve something easy. It feels weightless. No friction. No visible loss. Just a quiet promise that your real money can stay untouched while your life keeps moving. This is what convenience looks like in your 30s. One tap, a soft chime, and the illusion that your income is bigger than your time. Somewhere in the background, your credit score approves of you. Rewards points accumulate like small trophies. The app tells you you're doing fine because the minimum payment is manageable, because everyone you know lives the same way, because this is what responsible adults do. Optimize cash flow, smooth expenses, carry a balance that never feels urgent. The system is so normalized it stops feeling like borrowing. It feels like access. But every swipe quietly assigns your future hours to purchases you already forgot making. The interest rate turns a $40 dinner into a 3-month subscription to your own past. The balance doesn't look dangerous because it's broken into monthly payments, and monthly payments feel like routine, like rent, like utilities, just another cost of living. What disappears is the connection between what you earn and what you keep. By the time you realize the card is not a tool but a timeline, years of your future income are already scheduled, minimum payments repeating like a calendar you never meant to fill, compounding against your net worth, converting your working life into a series of small, acceptable transactions that quietly trade freedom for convenience. You tell yourself you'll deal with it later because later is when you'll be earning more, when the bonus is bigger, when the promotion finally lands. Right now, the minimum payment keeps everything quiet. It protects your credit score, preserves your lifestyle, and lets you keep investing a little into your 401k or your ISA so you can still say you're doing the right things. On the surface, nothing looks broken. Your accounts are active. Your net worth app updates every month. Life moves forward, but the minimum payment is not a solution. It's a long-term trade you don't see happening. Every month it reduces urgency while extending the timeline. The balance barely moves, the interest rate keeps compounding, and the real cost shifts into your future income. What feels like a small, controlled expense is actually a delay on ownership. The down payment that never forms. The brokerage contributions that never scale. The index funds you meant to buy with extra cash that never exists. Run the numbers once and it stops looking harmless. A balance carried for years doesn't just cost a few hundred in interest, it absorbs tens of thousands that could have been assets. That's a portion of a retirement account. That's years of compound growth inside a Roth IRA. That's the difference between a mortgage deposit in your 30s and renting into your 40s. The minimum payment isn't buying you time. It's selling your future ownership in exchange for present stability, converting what could have been freedom into a long sequence of acceptable automatic withdrawals from the years you haven't lived yet. You wake up on the first of the month and nothing is on fire. The payment went through, the apps show green check marks, your credit score holds steady, and the quiet relief feels like progress. You did what responsible people do. You stayed current. You avoided the late fee. In a life measured by deadlines and performance reviews, that small sense of control is addictive. It tells you you're safe, that you're managing adulthood correctly, that the system is working for you. This is the comfort that keeps the cycle invisible. The balance is still there, but it's been converted into a manageable monthly payment, and monthly payments feel normal. They look like your car finance, your subscriptions, your rent, fixed, predictable, part of the cost of living. The interest rate stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like background noise. You even invest a little on the side, contribute to your pension, buy a few index funds in your brokerage account, just enough to maintain the identity of someone who is financially aware. The narrative stays intact. I make good money. I'm moving forward. But revolving debt feeds on that stability. Because nothing breaks, nothing forces change. The minimum payment resets the timeline every month, and the interest compounds quietly against your net worth. 10 years pass in perfect financial behavior, and the original balance barely moves. What you so-called discipline was actually maintenance. Add it once, and the number stops being abstract. The lifetime cost isn't just the interest, it's the compound growth those payments never allowed. It's the retirement contributions that stayed small, the freedom number that moved further away, the years of future income already assigned to your past. The comfort was real, but it wasn't protection. It was a system that kept you calm while it converted your working life into a permanent loop. You don't see the moment your income stops belonging entirely to you. It still arrives on schedule, still looks the same in your banking app, still gets divided between rent, the car payment, subscriptions, and the minimums that keep everything current. On paper, you are earning more than you did in your 20s. In reality, a growing percentage of your future is already spoken for. Not by things you use today, but by interest quietly accumulating in the background. Interest is patient. It doesn't demand attention. It just extends the timeline and increases the total. A balance carried for convenience becomes a second price that never appears at the checkout. The $3,000 that once felt manageable turns into $7,000 paid over years of automatic withdrawals. Stretch that across credit cards, car finance, student loans, BNPL. Suddenly the lifetime cost is not a few extra payments. It's a six-figure transfer from your working life into the system that financed your normal lifestyle. At the same time, you watch the other form of compounding move too slowly to matter. The small contributions to your 401k, the modest ISA deposits, the index funds you buy when there's something left at the end of the month. One is accelerating against you at 20%. The other is inching forward at 7%. The gap between them is the gap between feeling stable and reaching your freedom number. Calculate the total once and the illusion breaks. This isn't just interest. It's decades of future income redirected, years of retirement delayed, ownership exchanged for access. A quiet wealth transfer from the person you are becoming to the debts you already forgot. You reach your mid-30s and the question changes from, can I afford the monthly payment, to, why am I still not close to a deposit? Your income is higher than it has ever been. Your career looks stable. You've been financially responsible, always current, always within the limit, always maintaining a good credit score. And yet the timeline for owning a home keeps moving further away, like a date that gets rescheduled every year without explanation. The money didn't disappear in one dramatic mistake. It dissolved into normal life. The minimum payments that felt small. The car finance that fit comfortably into your monthly budget. The subscriptions that never seemed worth canceling. Each one converted what could have been a down payment into a permanent cost of living. You told yourself you would save when things settled, but things never settle when your future income is already divided. Run the numbers in years instead of dollars, and the trade becomes visible. $500 a month not saved is $6,000 a year. Over a decade, that's the core of a deposit before compounding, before investment growth, before rising property prices. Add the interest you paid to keep those payments alive, and the lifetime cost becomes a second mortgage on a house you don't own. Meanwhile, rent continues to move up with inflation, resetting the baseline every time you get closer. The freedom number for home ownership doesn't just require saving, it requires time, and time has been redirected into maintaining access to everything except the asset that would anchor your future. This was never about property. It was about the years of stability and control that ownership represents, quietly exchanged for a lifestyle that kept you exactly where you started. You start to notice it in conversations you used to enjoy. Someone mentions being mortgage-free by 40. Another talks about maxing their Roth IRA every year. A colleague takes a 3-month break between jobs without panic. You smile, you nod, you earn a good salary, and yet your own timeline feels quietly out of sync, like life is moving forward but your freedom date keeps getting pushed back. Nothing looks wrong on the surface. The payments are affordable. The credit score is strong. Your pension contributions are automatic. You're doing what financially responsible people are supposed to do. But every milestone that once had a rough age attached to it, owning a home, being debt-free, choosing work instead of needing it, has shifted into the future, not canceled, just delayed year after year by the monthly cost of maintaining your current life. The villain is not one large decision. It's the structure of the payments themselves. Each obligation claims a portion of your future income before you earn it. Car payment, student loan, revolving balance, subscriptions, individually reasonable, collectively permanent. They reduce the amount you can direct toward your net worth, which means the compounding inside your 401k or ISA never reaches escape velocity. The freedom number stays theoretical because the timeline feeding it keeps shrinking. Calculate the delay once and it stops being abstract. 10 extra years before the mortgage is possible. 15 more before retirement becomes optional. This isn't about missing goals. It's about trading the years when your energy is highest for the stability of staying current. Financial freedom didn't collapse. It eroded slowly, converted into a life where progress exists on paper, but control over your time never actually arrives. You reach a point where the question is no longer, can I afford this month? But who is my income actually building? For years you performed the role perfectly. Reliable borrower, excellent credit score, every payment on time, every account in good standing. It looked like financial maturity. It felt like progress. But your net worth told a different story. Most of your energy was going toward maintaining access, not creating ownership. The shift begins when you see the pattern in time instead of money. Every minimum payment is a decision about your future calendar. Every interest charge is a claim on work you haven't done yet. The realization is uncomfortable because nothing externally changes. Same job, same salary, same cost of living. What changes is the identity. You stop measuring success by approval, credit limits, monthly affordability, rewards points, and start measuring it by what moves your freedom number. That's when the familiar behaviors lose their comfort. Carrying a balance no longer feels normal because you can calculate the lifetime cost in years of delayed retirement. A car payment is no longer just a monthly expense. It's the equivalent of missed contributions to your 401k or your ISA, compounding in the wrong direction. The system didn't trap you. You maintained it because it matched the person you believed you were. The new identity is quieter and less visible. Fewer transactions, more transfers into assets. Less focus on the monthly payment, more on ownership and future income. It's the moment you stop being a reliable user of debt and start becoming someone whose work builds time instead of selling it, converting the same salary into a timeline that finally moves toward financial freedom.